Welcome back, everyone. Time for part 2 of my Dominaria Set review, and this time we're going over the color blue. If you're listening to this for information and not just relaxation purposes, see the beginning of my white video for a lot of the explanation of things I'm doing. But once again, I am doing this for the purpose of mostly limited, as well as making points when I am looking to acquire these to add to one of my existing Manor decks I've done a deck tech on. So, first up, on blue, we have Academy Drake, which I started to do at the end of the last video, and then because I was not paying attention. So this is a 3-mana 2/2 with kicker, and the kicker cost is 4. But even without that kicker cost, which is honestly, for a lot of the kicker spells, you do have to look at their non-kicker cost to evaluate them, because getting the kicker is not always possible. Especially with this one where, as a kicker, this is a 7-mana spell. But without kicker, it's a 2-mana or 3-mana 2/2 flyer, which is great. I would play that, and it's like just a really solid playable card. But you can pay 4 extra to enter with 2/2 for 2 to play 1/1 counters on it. So you can also get a 7-mana, which means it's not like 4/4 flyer. Granted, 7-mana 4/4 flyer sounds bad, but because you can't look at it as if it was just a 7-mana 4/4 flyer, because that'd be still unplayable. But it is late game; it gets that extra value. But yeah, I like Academy Drake. It's a good card. Definitely just a solid flyer. And because of I mentioned in the last video, the importance, like flyers are very powerful, especially in pre-releases, because people forget that they need to defend against things like flyers, because they're all cut up in the new mechanics of the set. Next up is Academy Journey Mage, which is a 5-mana 3/2. That costs 1 less if you control a wizard. In blue-red, there is a wizard tribal theme. So, stat-wise, as a 5-mana 3/2, that's real bad. As a 4-mana 3/2, that's okay. But when it enters battlefield, return a target creature an opponent controls to its owner's hand. I'm down for that. At 4 mana, this is a great effect. Like, it's a balance on a creature's table on. And at 5 mana, it's not the end of the world, but so I think it's solid. And if you're playing blue, especially if you're at 4 or 5 mana, the likeliness that you'll have a creature out, and a lot of your creatures are going to be wizards, is quite high. So yeah, no, I'm pretty happy with Academy Journey Mage. But it is one that you're not gonna want more than 1 or 2 of, because it is occupying your 4 and 5 drop slot, which is a very contested slot. But for a common card, I think this pulls its weight. Well, our first blue saga, which is the Antiquities War. All of the sagas have such beautiful art. I love really what they did with the vertical space and whatnot. But Antiquities War, which is 3 to blue. For the first 2 chapters are: look at the top 5 cards of your library. When you feel an artifact card among them, put 1 in your hand, and put the rest in the bottom in random order. And the final chapter is: artifacts you control become artifact creatures. They become 5/5s until end of turn. In limited, this set doesn't have enough artifacts to really make this good. Honestly, I don't think this is playable in limited. It has some interesting constructed applications. Like, I'm currently looking at making an Acri, Lineslinger, and Silas Wren contraptions deck, and this would actually be very solid in that deck. But otherwise, this is not something I'm looking to play. Arcane Flight, one of the best pieces of art in this set, which is saying there's a lot of art. It's a blue enchantment, which gives the creature +1/+1 in flying. Honestly, the auras in this set have been actually really nice. They're actually quite pushed, I think. This one being only 1 mana getting +1/+1 and flying is like, I mean, you're getting +1/+1 for 1 mana, which is solid, and getting flying. Like this, you put this on Yargle, and it's a 10/4 flying Yargle. But yeah, no, it's, I mean, of course, it has all the downsides of the auras, but honestly, I would probably run 1 to 2 of these in a deck. Obviously not if there's a lot of balance and stuff. And this video is where we're gonna like kind of like see like how much balance is there, because that's really what can make or break auras, especially in white, like with the expensive ones. And we saw there was that one wizard which is not premium balance, but yeah, but Arcane Flight I think is real solid. It's a real beater. But it's important to realize that you don't want to be running too many of these, because you just do need your creatures, and it is a dead draw when you're behind a lot of the time. +1/+1 isn't going to change the dynamic of the board state, and unless they're beating you down with flyers, it's not just great on the defense, and you need creatures. Next up is Artificers Assistant, which is a 1 mana 1/1 flyer, which says whenever you cast a historic spell, scry 1. 1 mana 1/1 flyer is not something I'm looking to play, and I also don't think the scry 1 on historic spell really gets there either. I think I could be wrong about this, but I think at best you're getting 1, maybe 2 scries out of this. At best, if you've built your deck around that. At that point, that's okay, because people tend to think that like about 2.5 scries is equivalent to drawing a card. And you would definitely play 1 mana, 1/1 flyer, when it enters battlefield, draw a card. Like, that would be super playable. But it does require a bit of a build around. So, I think it's okay, but I don't think it's great. Yeah, that's my thing. I'm sorry, Burb, but you're not really what I'm looking to do. And I am definitely like the person who wants to dirtle and play with these cards, but Baffled. 2 and a blue for a dark creature gets -4, -0 until end of turn. Draw a card. I am so down for this. It's a combat trick that draws a card. Like, it won't help you, it won't trade like a chump to like be a winning the combat, but it can save it, and just the fact that it replaces itself is really nice. Like, if nothing else, you can cycle it for 3 mana if like the board stalled, and honestly, it's just a good card. Granted, you have to hold 3 mana open for it, but honestly, it's 1 more than like Jesus Scrutiny from Shadows, and that one was -4/-0 and Investigate, which you had to pay more mana to get it. And that was a great card. Like, it can help stem the bleeding if you're getting beat down, and like help you get through your deck for more answers. So I really like Baffled. That's a card I'm gonna be drafting a lot of, because I like playing my slow decks, and that helps you survive to the late game. Next is Blink of an Eye. It's 1 and a blue with a kicker for 1 and a blue. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. If the spell was kicked, draw a card. Okay, here's our good balance. Like, it's 1 and a blue, return target creature to its owner's hand. Like, it's a little bit more, it's 1 more than expensive than an unsummon. I mean, though it does hit like artifacts and stuff. And importantly for sagas, you can bounce your own sagas back if you want to like repeat like initial effects and whatnot. And the kicker cost for late game being able to just cycle it. I love this card. Like, this is just a great card. And it's at instant speed, so it's nice, it's flexible, it's great. And the existence of this at common lowers my grade of the rest of the auras, because this is the kind of card that will just wreck a lot of those like expensive auras. Like that 4 mana one that like gave all the keywords and stuff is so bad against something like this. That being said, a lot of them are pushed to the point where it's like you just want to aggressively sideboard them out if you're playing against someone who's playing blue. Cloud Reader Sphinx. It's a 5 mana, 3/4 flying. When it enters battlefield, scry 2. this is just like a really solid 5-drop. 3/4 flying is solid. Like, even on the ground, that's a decent blocker. And Scribe 2 is like close to drawing a card. So, honestly, like, as like a good late game finisher, I'm very much behind this Crowd Leader Sphinx. Yeah, I think it's real good. Bunch of commons so far. Okay, Coldwater Snapper. It's a 6 mana, 4/5 hexproof. It's not much of a beater, and I guess like if you Arcane Flight this thing, at that point you're golden. And I feel like if you're doing like, it could be good with like a blue-white enchantments theme, because if you put like the thing that gives it like vigilance, lifelink, and flying on it, and like, being in that, that's amazing. Without aura support, it's okay. I mean, it is 6 mana for 4/5, and then 4/5 is a decent body, and it's hard to remove. I think it's solid, but it blocks well, but it's overall unexciting. Like, this is no Scale Behemoth from Armageddon, which was an uncommon and was green, but that was like a 6/7 hexproof for 6 mana. But I like it. I think you can do some cool things to just run away with games if you have the right like auras and stuff like that, for kind of like, I can't help it. I like Boggles. Okay, that's my popper deck is Boggles, and you can hate me all you want, but yeah. Next up is Curator's Wand. It's 2 and a blue for enchant permanent. Target enchant permanent has hexproof. Okay, interesting. And when it leaves the battlefield, if it was historic, draw 2 cards. I don't know how to analyze this. So typically, okay, let's break this down. So it has hexproof, so it can protect check your creatures and stuff. So if you put like on a big creature, like one of your legendaries, you can like protect it, and if it dies, like via combat or other like sacrifice shenanigans, you get to draw 2 cards. You could slap this on a saga, and when the saga finishes, essentially beat up a card, on this exchange. But that's like really slow because it takes a turn and you're paying 3 mana to essentially draw 2 cards. Like, that's a really bad divination, which is in this set. And on artifacts, I don't really think there's good artifacts that you want to be doing. I don't like this. This seems way too janky and slow, and yeah, no, I'm not liking it. If it was just like, if this permanent leaves battlefield, draw 2 cards, I would still be iffy on it. And that inefficient restriction, I don't think this is good. I guess maybe if you have like a Lyra Dawnbringer, which is like that amazing angel, or like another like high impact like legendary that's like otherwise hard to remove without hard removal, maybe you do that. But I'm not seeing myself paying 3 mana just to give something hexproof and then getting like some suboptimal card draw in the case it dies. Yeah, no, I'm not a fan. Not a fan. Okay, next up is Deep Freeze. It's a 3 mana enchantment with enchant creature. Enchanted creature has base power, toughness 04, has defender, loses alt abilities, and is a blue wall in addition to its other colors and types. I mean, I think it's kind of removal, except you create it, turn it into like a decent blocker. So if you're like, your plan is to win in the air, which there's like, we've seen there's some decent flyers in this color, it's like just can be straight up removal. And unlike a lot of other like green tappers and blue tappers and stuff, it actually strips of it, like, of its abilities. So I think it's okay removal in most decks, but if you have the skies well done, it's great removal. But yeah, no. I'm not big on it, no. I mean, I like the art, it's fun. Yeah. I'm not big on this as removal goes. Like, I'll play the first one, maybe the second, but it can slow you down after a while. Next up is Diligent Excavator. It's a 2 mana, 1/3. It's whenever you cast a historic spell, target player puts the top 2 cards of their library into their graveyard. Mill is not going to work. There's not enough stuff to enable mill, and especially triggered onto something that requires like a big build around to build. And the 2 mana 1/3, which isn't a card I'm looking to play. It's not even a wizard, which is like irrelevant for like that type of deck. I'm not behind this. No, sorry, Diligent Excavator, you not today. Divination, 3 mana, draw 2 cards. Do you remember that enchantment that drew 2 cards if you like did some weird stuff with like Tsongas and stuff? Yeah, this one just draws you 2 cards. I'll play the first Divination. Well, I might play the second one. But I mean, it's not something you want too many of, but it's okay. It's okay. That's all I can say. Homerid Explorer. A+, Homerids are great. Next card. Homerid Explorer. Manor's Baffled. It's a 4 mana 3/3, and target player puts top 4 cards of the library into the graveyard. I'm not into this. Again, with the mill just, there isn't enough support in the set to really like make mill a thing, and this doesn't help you. And there's not even that much like exploiting your own graveyard and stuff in this deck that is just not into it. In Bullis's clutches. Okay, story-wise, like, I'm like, no, Lily, no, why, stop. I don't... Poor Lily. But, yeah, no, it's 6 mana, enchant permanent. You control enchant permanent is legendary. This is very good. Mind control effects, turns out, are good. You get to remove their creature, and oh look, now you have their creature for 6 mana. It's very good. Making it legendary is sometimes relevant, but yeah. And just like, Lily, no, Liliana. Like, I've become, like, honestly in the last, like, few weeks, ever since, like, cosplaying Liliana, like, I've gone from, like, not really liking her to, like, being, like, obsessed with Liliana, and I love her, and she might be my favorite character in the lore right now. Okay, next up is Carnes Temporal Sundering. It is a 6 mana legendary sorcery, so you need to have a legendary to cast it, which is not always guaranteed in to have. So you do need to have that base round. But it says target player takes another turn after this one. You're gonna want to target yourself. Return up to 1 target long-land permanent to its owner's hand. Exile Carnes Temporal Sundering. I like this. I mean, taking extra turn cards, like, you do need to have this correct stuff, like you need to be having the board, or if doing other things. Otherwise, otherwise you're just like, oh look, it's a draw 1 because you get to because you tap out, and you don't get to do much, and you get to untap and do that. The fact that it also allows staples of bounce onto there is nice. That being said, and also like you're casting, you have a legendary creature out, so you have like other stuff going on. I think it's okay if you already have the stuff going. And like 6 mana is like not unreasonable. It's not like you're casting like an 8 mana, take another turn card. So I could see this working. Merfolk Trickster. It is a blue for a 2/2 flash. When it enters battlefield, tap target creature an opponent controls. It loses all abilities until the end of turn. I think this is okay. I think it's playable. Like you can sometimes ambush small creatures, and you can help like tap down opponent's creatures and stuff like that. And it's also a wizard, which is relevant for certain cards, so I think it's playable, but not anything amazing. Next up we have the Ferrari Conjecture, which I got to person who did that art, and it's actually really cool. I love the story behind it, actually finding out locations and stuff. But besides that, it's a 5-mana saga, which is the first chapter is return target instant card from your graveyard to your hand. Okay, you're gonna have to have instants and stuff to make that work. Chapter 2 is return target sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. And number 3 is until end of turn, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, copy it, you may choose new targets of the copy. If you have the critical mass of instants and sorceries, which you're not usually going to have in draft and sealed, if you have that though, I think this is fine, but it is a build around, and for the most games, you're not going to want it. As for me, I could definitely see myself playing this in Shuyun, and also Vial Smasher. I'm probably going to try to get one, probably more for Vial Smasher than Shuyun, but yeah, no. I like it. For Commander, not limited. Naban, Dean of Iteration. It's a 2-mana 2/1 with if a wizard entering the battlefield causes the triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. So essentially, it's like a panharmonicon for just wizards. Like stat-wise alone, it's a 2-mana 2/1, but it is a legendary which is relevant. It is a wizard that's relevant, and I think if you have the critical mass, like a few wizards that you actually have good into ETB effects, like I think then it becomes worth it. But or things that care about wizards or care about creatures. But if you don't have those things, it is a 2-mana 2/1, and that's not good. So I think if you have the stuff to make it work, he's great. If not, no. This set is getting me interested in making not like a Grixis Wizards deck like the Commander C17 deck did, but just doing like kind of like an Is It Wizard deck. Might be interesting. Next up is Narumeha, Master Wizard. It's a 4-mana 3/3 with Flash. When it enters the battlefield, copy target instant or sorcery spell you control. You may choose 2 targets for the copy. So you can pay 4 additional mana essentially to fork a instant sorcery, which there are some of them that you might have, like the wizards, like the lightning bolt for wizards. You could definitely see it doing. But also it is a lord for all your wizards, giving them +1/+1. So you can also use this as like a combat trick, like mid-combat, like being able to buff your stuff and do that. I like this, like as a lord, and also that extra utility of like if you have like a cheap removal spell or anything. Yeah, no, I like her. She's cool. I also like the here, take some favors and shooting papers everywhere. Next one is back from Ixalan, is Opt with awesome art of Teferi. It's a 1-mana, scry 1, draw a card. For added instant speed. I think it's okay. It's solid. I want to get this art for Shuyun, which I played in. I already played the other Opt, but this art is better. He's fine. It's fine. You don't want to play too many. Like, it's one thing that you'll play like 1 or 2 of them, just because like it's a great good use of spare mana and helps like thin out your deck in a sense. But it's not something you definitely need highly. There's a few cards that care about instant sorceries, and if you have those, yeah, put that in. Maybe if you already have them, like maybe choose a little bit higher, but yeah. Next up is Precognition Field. It's a 4-mana rare enchantment, which is you may look at the top card of your library, and you may cast the top card library if it's an instant or sorcery spell, and you also may pay just 3 generic mana and exile the top card of your library, so you can like effectively dig for these cards. Honestly, this is real nice. Like, even if you don't have critical mass, like being able to like just essentially say 3 mana scry effectively. If you already get the look, you just get to remove it off top. It's dirtily, but I like it. It's real solid. And if you have those instants and sorceries, I really like it. This is going right into Shuyin. It might go into Vile Smasher. Yeah, no, I really like it. Even unlimited. Like, granted, like, you could have, like, it'll depend on how, if the format ends up being too fast, I might make a second guess about it, but as is, I think I'm fine with it. Next up is Relic Runner. It's a 2-mana 2/1 that can't be blocked if you have cast a historic spell this turn. This is another one of those where it's like, I don't think you're not casting historic spells consistently enough to make this good. Like, sure, it can push through some damage and stuff, but it's not even a wizard, so, yeah. I'm not big on Relic Runner. Especially with all the other, like, much better, like, blue commons. Right, next one is Rescue. It's 1 blue for return target permanent you control to its owner's hand. I don't know, if you have enough stuff with, like, ETB effects, or if your opponent is running, like, a lot of removal, I could see this, like, sideboarding in. But as is, I'm not huge on it. You do kind of need those payoffs to make it really worthwhile. I don't really have much else to say about that, yeah. Sage of Latinum. It is a 2-mana 1/2 with tap, sacrifice an artifact, draw a card. Again, I don't think there's enough artifacts in this format to really warrant this. I could see myself maybe playing this in Brago with all like the Thopters and stuff I make, but I really don't think I'm going to be playing it there. Yeah, I'm just not impressed by this guy. Like, yeah. I don't know what else to say. It just, there aren't enough artifacts you could really be running, wanting to run, and wanting to be sacrificed. This isn't like a format like Kaladesh where you're making like servos left and right, and you might want to be cashing them in for cards and stuff like that. Or like Shadows of Earnestfall where you have to, well, I guess, clues automatic, you could already sacrifice them to draw cards, but yeah. Sentinel of the Pearl Trident. It's a 5-mana 3/3 with flash. When it enters the battlefield, you get to blink a historic permanent you control, so an artifact or saga thing. This is one where if you have those ETB effects, I think could be nice. If not, like a 5-mana 3/3 even with flash just is way too expensive. If you have a saga that you could see resetting, but you still have a lot to build up around it. It's one of those where so many of these blue cards are reliant on you having these ETB effects, and we actually haven't seen that many of the ETB effects that really make them pay off. Want me to like actually go through and do them. Next up is Slyn Voda, the Rising Deep, who is an 8-mana 8/8 Leviathan, who's legendary, with kicker for 1 blue, so 10 mana to kick this thing. When it enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, return all creatures to their owner's hand except for merfolk, krakens, leviathans, octopuses, and serpents. I don't think this is playable. Like, maybe if you're super turtly, but even an 8-mana 8/8 honestly isn't that great. Like, it can be chump blocked very easily. You're not realistically getting to the 10 mana to play it. It doesn't have haste, so they're going to be able to like replay out chump blockers and stuff anyway. I don't like it. Like, Kurt, it's cool. I love my Leviathans, but I don't see it being good enough to be there. Okay, next we have Syncopate, which is X and a blue for counter target spell unless its control plays X. If a spell is countered this way, exile it instead of putting it in its graveyard. I'll play as many of these as I can get in the draft. Like, 2 mana, it's a sensor. And late game, you get to like hold over mana and like really like bring them up. As counters go, I really like the spell. Okay, I love counters. My favorite 3 words in Magic are counter, target, spell. And this is like a decent, like counters obviously like aren't the strongest in limited, but I feel this one is flexible enough that it is really good for that. And having an exile is just gravy on top. I'm a fan. Next up is Tempest Jin, which is blue, blue, blue. See the last video from like my talking about like when you get to triple the color, you really need the extra fixing to like make sure you get it. But this one is real nice, where it is a 0/4 flying that gets +1/+1 for every basic island you control, which this just scales really nicely. Like, say you just play this like in limited, because most your blue sources will be islands. It's a 3/4 flying for 3, which is great, and it just grows over time. This is a great card, and if you have like, if you're heavily enough in blue for this, yeah, or if you have like a little bit of fixing you need to like make it really work, and this is good enough that like even if you don't have all the fixing to make it work, like it's still real solid. It's just a good solid card, and it's a Jin, so yeah. Tetsuko Umezawa, Fugitive. This is MJ's preview card, but it's 2 mana for a 1/3 human rogue that's legendary. That it says creatures you control with power and toughness 1 or less, notably power or toughness 1 or less, cannot be blocked. So essentially, by herself, she's a 1/3 that cannot be blocked. And as you go on, like there's a lot of other things you can do, like to make it like just like super evasive and stuff like that. And if you have instantable other creatures that just can't be blocked, like if you have enough creatures that have like the power or toughness, like typically actually the one you want to be looking at is toughness, because like making these like high power creatures like with like they're normally really fragile get in is super nice. But I mean, honestly, I think this is at baseline good enough to I think this is a decent, despite its stats not being the best. Yeah. Also have a soft spot because MJ's awesome. Next up is Time of Ice, which is a 4-mana saga, which is first 2 tappers are tap target creatures that opponent controls. It does not untap as long as you control Time of Ice. So it like ices down different creatures. And then 3 is return all tapped creatures to their owner's hand. This is amazing. I love this. Like, it essentially like locks out 2 creatures, like 1 creature when it comes into it, and the second one for the next turn, and then bounces them so they have to replay it. This is just such a great tempo play. You get to bounce 2 things. You get to like frost links them down. I'm all about this. This is a solid kind of like uncommon level enchantment. Yeah. Tellurian Scholar is a 3-mana 2/3 human wizard. If you need the wizards and you have like the wizard synergies, I can see playing this, but otherwise I'm not happy playing this. It's playable, but and I think its subtype as a wizard is relevant. But yeah. Next up is Unwind, which is 2 and a blue for an instant, which is counter target non-creature spell, untap up to 3 lands. Remember that part where I said like I really like counters? I don't think this is playable, and I'm saying like creatures are the baseline of limited, and this does not counter creatures, and that is a huge liability despite how good it is. So yeah, not a fan of Unwind, unfortunately. Sorry, Jorah. Next one is Voldalian Arcanist, which is 1 blue for 1/3 Merfolk Wizard. So wizard relevant again. Tap, add colorless, and cast only to be cast instant sorcery spells. So it's kind of like a mana rock for instants and sorceries. I think this is fine if you have enough instants and sorceries, or if you have the cards that care about wizards. I mean, 1.3 is a decent blocker, and it has relevant text and relevant subtype, so it's not something I'm super happy on playing, but I'm not like dreading like this is a horrible deck if I'm having to put this in there. So yeah. Weight of Memory. 5-mana sorcery, that's draw 3 cards, and target player puts the top 3 cards of their library into their graveyard. Honestly, the second line of text isn't super relevant, but essentially it's draw 5 mana, draw 3 cards, which I'll play the first one, probably. I mean, it is 5 mana, so you don't want to be running too many of these, but I mean, it's a decent like late game like refill your hand. Yeah. Next up is Wizard's Retort, which is 1 blue, but it only costs blue if you control a wizard, and it's counter target spell. It's counter spell if you control a wizard. And this is just a good card. Like, obviously, if you have the wizards, and if you have that kind of like the wizard theme going on, this is amazing, because turns out counter spell's a good spell. And even if you, like, that said, you probably don't want to run more than 1 or 2 counters, like even that and the, I've already forgotten the name, the Sifthrin, it's a musical term. But yeah, no, it's just real solid counter as well. Yeah, no, I like it. Great art too. Next up is Zahid, Jin of the Lamp. So it's a 6 mana 5/6 flying, which on its own I would play. It's also legendary, which is relevant for some things. But 6 mana 5/6 flying, that's a beater it gets in. And if you happen to have an artifact, which this is one where like because its baseline is good, I don't mind that like this artifact text is only benefit. You can pay 4 and tap an untapped artifact you control rather than playing its mana cost. So you could also have a 4 mana 5/6 flying if you have an incidental artifact, which is real nice and real good. All around, very nice. I like this guy. He's one big boy. And that is it for blue. Yeah. Well, I'll see you all tomorrow when we start going through black. Yeah, no. Once again, if you disagree with my assessments in this card, let me know. I want to get better at this format too, and I'd love to hear what you have to say. And there's gonna be a video every day this week, so I'll see you tomorrow. Alright. I hope you have a wonderful night's sleep. Alright. Good night.